Now, on to Meghan Markle. She's again been linked to the White House. That's a terrifying thought. What's the connection this time?
Well, President Joe Biden, his sister, has apparently endorsed Meghan as, a potential candidate for the Democratic Party, and also there have been rumours that she has been writing to various political figures within her state to lobby them on various issues, including issues that are climate related. Now, this is not surprising given the fact that she's always been a vocal person politically. She started her first ad when she was 11, and she wrote to the president of the United States at the time, asking why an advert to do with dishwashing liquid had only women in it, and it kind of painted this idea that only women wash dishes, and it was painfully, sexist and all of that. So she's always been very politically conscious. We knew that. And when she obviously stepped into the royal family, she had to scale back on that. She had to delete her Instagram account. When Trump conducted a state visit to the UK, it was alleged that she didn't want to see him, so she excused herself from the occasion entirely. But obviously, we haven't had any confirmations from the Sussexes with regards to Meghan's political ambitions. But from what we're hearing is it wouldn't be out of character. One thing we have to remember is that in the US, brand recognition and name recognition is everything. If you're well known, your image to the public can always be massaged and rehabilitated. That's a better sort of starting point than being a complete unknown and trying to work your way up from there. So it would kind of make sense in that regard why someone like Meghan would be tapped on the shoulder to eventually enter into politics. It's kind of a similar strategy we've been seeing with people like Michelle Obama. People have been saying that, she might want to enter politics because she is an Obama and she has that name recognition. But really, we have to recognize that in the US, that's really how it works. It's the name first and then everything else later. I suspect that sort of route, if it is true, if she does want to enter into politics, might not work out that well for her because, she's only known as someone who married a British prince. She hasn't really had time to develop her image extensively in the American psyche. And I don't think that when she does, it'll be something that would really appeal to Americans. That's crafting your image in politics is a very difficult thing to do. And if you're known for just marrying a prince, I suspect her politics will probably lean more left of centre, and she'll probably talk about issues like feminism and climate change. That won't really work out when your only claim to fame has been, marrying a prince. So it would be interesting to see if that does materialise. But at the moment, we haven't had any confirmations from the Sussexes camp.
What I do find is interesting is that it's Joe Biden's sister. And this isn't the first time that she's said this either. Here is her making a similar comment last year.
We welcome her to come in and join the Democratic Party.
So you think she'll make a good potential candidate one day, maybe for president?
Yes, perhaps. Of course she will.
Do you think, Esther, and this is slightly more political perhaps than royal, but given where the Bidens are where Joe Biden is at the moment in the polls, might be doing her a disservice rather than helping her out for any potential presidential run?
That is certainly a possibility. Look, polling, where presidents tend to poll usually it varies widely across their presidency. Although we can see consistency with someone like Joe Biden in terms of his polling figures, it's something that's always up for debate. Some presidents can poll highly, basically through no fault of their own, if the economy picks up and all of that. So that might not be the best gauge to see how well of an endorsement that would be for someone like Meghan Markle. The bigger question is, how would she connect with the American public? It's obvious that, if she was to go into politics, she would probably be a Democrat, and she would probably speak on issues like I was saying, like feminism, like climate change, like equality, I suspect, which is something that she'll be passionate about. But again, how would someone like her connect with the American public when she has no history of any sort of service in public life? The little public service she had in the UK, she didn't last very long. She's a very wealthy woman, mainly because she has married a wealthy prince of an aristocratic family here in the United Kingdom. A lot of the topics that she might seem to raise to try and connect with the American people might actually end up being hypocritical. I don't know to what extent she can play the race card, considering Kamala Harris already has first position on that. So it's more a question of, will she be able to connect with the American public, and will they find anything of substance? Even if the things that she does say resonate resonates with a certain portion of the public, at the end of the day, if they kind of see her as a hypocrite or someone who's just, putting on an act, that might not be the best way to connect with anyone, really. But it's not surprising that she's been tipped off to enter politics. It's something that, most people expected, given the fact that she was fairly politically conscious even before she entered the royal family. The question is whether she will succeed at it.